everybody, Dr. Chris here. Thanks for joining me as usual. Today I'm going to talk about something that's going to be a little controversial, okay? Don't blame me, I'm just the messenger here, okay? So I'm just going to come out and say it. Exercise does not help with weight loss. I find that really hard to believe. No one I tell believes that. But the data is there. There's studies showing this, okay? Now, you look at people and say, oh, yes, you have to exercise to lose weight. What are they doing? They're watching TV commercials about exercise programs, 30-day cleanses and boot camps and this sort of thing. They're looking at magazine covers. It's all shiny bells and whistles and ornaments, but what does the data say when, we really measure this stuff? Most people, the vast majority of people, do not lose weight with exercise, okay? I'm gonna pause for a minute here, because exercise is incredibly important, okay? I push exercise, I think it's great. It is the most magical intervention that we have for human health, okay? It improves sleep, it improves cognition, it improves mood, it prevents certain cancers, it prevents a whole host of different chronic medical conditions, okay? But it doesn't help change that number on the scale, all right? So I do not want you to be one of those people who hits the gym hard, exercises very hard every day for a month, look at the scale at the end of the month and say, the number's the same, this exercise isn't working for me. No. It's doing all sorts of good things, okay? Assuming you have a halfway decent exercise plan. But weight loss is not one of the things, statistically, that exercise is good for, okay? What's much more important is nutrition if you're talking about healthy weight loss, okay? Nutrition is number one, and number two is minimizing your sedentary time, okay? So as an example, did this study. They looked at people who sat at a desk all day and then hit the gym, okay? That was group one. Group two, they looked at people who stood up every 15 minutes and didn't go to the gym. People who stood up, who had that more frequent low intensity exercise, had better cardiometabolic outcomes, weight, heart attacks, cholesterol, all that stuff, okay? The point there being, it is almost impossible, not impossible, but almost impossible to out-exercise a sedentary lifestyle, okay? So if you're talking about health and healthy weight loss, nutrition, minimizing sedentary time, and I'll throw in there rest and sleep as well. It's not the topic here, but that's an important third thing, okay? So back to the evidence on how or why exercise is not helpful for weight loss, okay? Some people might be thinking, you might be thinking this right now, oh, I'm exercising, so I'm putting on some muscle, and muscle weighs more than fat, so that's a situation. That's not even what I'm talking about, okay? Because in these studies, they measure things like that, body fat percentage and that. So let me give you one kind of big time good example that demonstrates this. They took 14 pairs of twins and they locked them in a metabolic unit. Okay, a metabolic unit is, they observe everything. They know exactly how many calories you're eating because they feed it to you. They watch you, they have you exercise, they know exactly how many calories you're expending. And at the end of that study period, some people had lost a bunch of weight. Other people hadn't lost any weight at all, okay? Now, what was interesting, all sorts of interesting things, but one interesting thing is that if someone lost weight, their twin lost it also, all right? If someone didn't lose weight, their twin didn't lose weight, even though all these people were doing the exact same intake and output. So you do the math, you figure calories in, calories out, this is how much you should have lost or gained. They were all over the board, but they did what their twin did, so that shows that it's incredibly genetically determined, all right? So now you can do genetic testing to see if you respond to exercise or not. Those things are not, we're gonna get there eventually, but at the time of this video, nowhere near good enough. Look at that, like entertainment right now. Do one of those things and, oh, you're curious, okay. But most people kind of just intuitively know, hey, I've tried exercising and my weight doesn't change. Other people, hey, I tried exercising and I lost a ton of weight as soon as I stopped, put the weight back on. So a lot of people have some idea how they respond to exercise. Now, it gets real complicated when you start talking about what kind of exercise, aerobic, weightlifting. So that's beyond the scope of this talk right here. But in general, people do not lose weight with exercise. And going back to this twin study, you might think, well, you just weren't working hard enough, right? You weren't on that treadmill and going fast enough, or maybe you were eating too much, so your exercise didn't help enough. in this metabolic unit, they knew all those things. They knew exactly how many calories they were eating, exactly how many calories they were burning on the treadmill. And there's still that big variation in weight loss. So very interesting. Now, I also say this, you've heard me say this before, that I don't want anyone to feel doomed with health and wellness and exercise. And so genetics may affect how your weight responds to exercise, but all those other benefits that I mentioned at the beginning, you still get those with exercise. So absolutely exercise. So how much exercise does someone need to reap the benefits? What's the dose that you need? Someone comes in with high blood pressure, we know, hey, this level is high blood pressure, you need this many milligrams of a medication, and we want it to become normal. And if it's not, then we add or we change medications, all right? With exercise, a lot of people have no idea what's the dose that I need, okay? But we, scientifically, we know, okay? It's 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity exercise, okay? That's where you get all these benefits, all these non-weight related benefits, okay? And you can split that up however you want. As time has gone on, we've gotten more into saying, get that however you want. Okay, at first it was, you need at least whatever it was, a 30-minute chunk, and then it came down to a 10-minute chunk, and now it's like, well, however you split it up, even 5 minutes at a time is better. And this gets to not so much the exercise, but minimizing sedentary time like I talked about earlier on, okay? Now that's moderate intensity. What that means is walking at a rate where your heart rate goes up, but you can still easily have a conversation. If you do more intense stuff, vigorous activity, you can get away with less time. Okay, another top secret thing here, 10,000 steps. A lot of people have that 10,000 step goal. There is no science behind that at all. One study looked at people who took 10,000 steps a day for 6 months. They lost half a pound. Again, going to the point that exercise doesn't help a lot with weight loss, okay? But I like people to walk as much as you possibly can, minimize the sedentary time, okay? So I think that's interesting stuff, but I'm biased. I love this. So just to summarize, lots of data showing that exercise does not help with weight loss. You got to focus on nutrition. You got to focus on minimizing sedentary time, and you got to get enough sleep and relaxation. And then exercise is great, absolutely great for all sorts of other things, okay? Cognition, mood, sleep, preventing certain cancers and chronic diseases, okay? So that's the summary. Hope you learned something. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time. Dr. Chris.
Be sure to schedule your free 30-minute initial phone consultation by sending me an email or by visiting our website at refinedwellnessconsulting.com.